Akil and I have been living full-time in our little cabin on wheels for a few years now, and at the start of our 4th year of living on the road, I was able to purchase 40 acres of raw land. Chris and Kobuk were there to support us through the ups and downs while all of this came to fruition, and right as the depth of winter arrived on the property, I decided to also drill a well to ease my worry about water. And after many stressful days, the well ended up being a success. We then quickly left the property for winter in order to find warmer weather. And over the last 3 months, we have enjoyed Joshua trees and red rock desert and so much sun. And finally, we are on our way back. And things are actually changing. I have eagerly and patiently been waiting for this day for a few months now.
Good morning.
Hi, good, how are you?
Alright, you have a phone number with us?
Yes, 435.
That was my very last stop at one of my favorite coffee shops ever. I just moved out of the studio. I was renting some space there. I picked up some of my finished pieces. This one turned out so cool. I love how these two glazes reacted. I'm trying to work on making some mugs without handles because often with people who live in vehicles or travel a lot, handles are the first thing to go. I made this little guy for Elsa. This is the only other one that I absolutely love. This is, I think, one of the most beautiful mugs that I've made. This was a Sgraffito trial. I don't like how it turned out. It's okay. Soon I will have my own studio where I can learn about all of my glazes. I don't have to rely on studio glazes, and I'm really excited about it. I really love how this little guy turned out. Something that I've been thinking about lately is how we can predict the longing that we will feel one day. It's such a human thing, and I've been deep in that longing lately, which for me it tends to parallel my really joyful and happy moments. For example, the bond that Akil and I have, which is only growing stronger as she ages. The way that we communicate and love each other so deeply, and how we are really each other's entire world, but it can't be that way forever. And then this van, something that I put my entire savings into years ago, all of the frustration and the learning, really making it my own. And then the years of cozy nights and simple living all over the country alongside Akila. That will be gone one day. It's like anticipating grief, but almost in a really beautiful way, because how lucky am I to have built this life that I love enough to make me aware that I need to cherish everything right now, because change and loss is inevitable, unfortunately. I also recognize that what I just explained might be more prevalent to those who have felt intense grief already in their lives. Like, we know what is around the corner, so we can really take our time being in the now before we get there. And maybe this is all coming to the surface because things are changing. Akil and I are traveling closer and closer to the property.
You want to come up onto bed?
Good girl. She loves a freshly made bed, don't you? It is so beautiful this morning.
It's kind of chilly. Actually, yeah. Why don't I have a sweatshirt on? I woke up this morning thinking about how different my like travel method is now. For the majority or all maybe of my like early 20s, I traveled also in vehicles, and I would get up at like 5 or 6 every morning and get on the road. I would drive like 8 to 10 hours a day. Now I drive 2 to 4 hours. I sleep in. I have time to make myself home cooked food. It's the best. And I really think everything kind of boils down to health. Like, as I am getting older, my health matters just so much more. Like, the most. My health matters the most in my life. Getting enough sleep, eating the right food, like listening to my body. Yeah. Yeah. Which really is a beautiful segue to this morning's routine, because I just got out my new dedicated AG1 mug. This is my AG1 mug because it's cute and it's small and it has a green glaze inside. Cute. So I want to give a special thanks to AG1 for supporting my channel and for sponsoring today's video. Also, I think today's an exciting day. Yeah, it's refill day. If you have been here for any length of time, you know that my life can be quite exciting. I'm always traveling to new places and meeting new people. Hold on. And with everything that I do and my outside world shifting and changing so often, it's really quite comforting to have AG1 as just a simple and reliable part of my routine every day. It's the one thing that just like does not change ever. No, stay in there. Each morning I drink just 1 scoop of AG1 and it fits seamlessly into any adventure that I'm experiencing in that moment, whether I'm in the van or overseas or on the property. There's really no easier way to get all the supplements and vitamins and minerals that you're looking for. Not only does it mix really well so you're not drinking like clumps of powder, but it also tastes really good. It's easy and enjoyable to drink every morning. I personally have it on an empty stomach in the mornings before my coffee and before my breakfast. It also just makes me feel a lot better, especially during travel when certain foods or making homemade meals can be more difficult. I know that all these vitamins and minerals that I'm drinking each morning with AG1 is helping to fill any of the nutritional gaps that I'm creating through my sometimes a little bit crazy of a life. If anything that I mentioned is something that you want to try in your own life, make sure to head to the link in my description below and you can get a 1-year supply of vitamin D3 K2 and 5 individual travel packets for free with your first subscription. I, at all times, have a box of these travel packets open and ready in my cabinet so that if I am packing for a backcountry trip or a trip overseas, I can grab these and bring these wherever I go. Extremely convenient. I love them. I really love geeking out about health and how bodies function, but not just my own. So let's make breakfast for Akila. I try my best to provide Akila with a lot of variety. So I recently got her some raw like pre-made patties. I don't always do this, but I decided to just to make sure that everything stayed really balanced for her and her body. Raw lamb, bones, and organs. I am gonna add about 1/2 pound of this venison. I hear you, Akila, I'm working on it. Then I'm adding some herring, some chicken hearts. This is like a turkey tail supplement. This is pumpkin and goat's milk for her gut health. And then I also have wild Alaskan salmon oil. So she's a big girl and I'm gonna add 3 pumps of that in here. And then I also try to include the membrane with the egg. When Akila's in the van, like when we're traveling somewhere, she tends to not really drink much water, so I always add extra water in her meals so that she doesn't get dehydrated. I add water regardless. I think everybody should. Our dogs are kind of chronically dehydrated, especially if they're just eating kibble. So adding water to your dog's food can be like highly beneficial for them. Go back over. Sit. That's good girl. Okay. Oh my gosh, why are you so funny? This morning I am finishing up a video that I've been working on for 3 months. So it has taken me a really long time to filter through everything and decide what I want to use and what I don't want to use. This video could have been 3 hours long. I love the way it turned out. I think it really captures my experience in the Amazon rainforest. I hope you can feel a little bit of what I experienced in the jungle. I think something that's interesting about YouTube is that oftentimes the work that you put in isn't like directly paid out, if that makes sense. Like the work, I can spend 3 months on a video and be paid $200 from that video. If it, if people don't click on it, if it doesn't have a good thumbnail, nobody's gonna watch it. If it doesn't have an intriguing title, nobody's gonna watch it. But the work doesn't come from the title or the thumbnail, the work comes from the video. It's an interesting job because typically, if you put in work, you get paid for that work, but that's not really how it happens on YouTube. And at the end of the day, it's really not about wanting to make a lot of money off of it, but more so wanting people to watch it so that they can, garner some appreciation for the natural world, and maybe it'll inspire them to connect with their own surroundings. I don't know. But I gotta get working on this.
Stripes in the Alabama highway, out there in the open, just a wishing and a hoping I could smell the pines.
Maybe I fit so seamlessly in this lifestyle because change has always felt quite comfortable, whether that's the location or the people or the weather. I often view change as something exciting or as a way to find new discoveries about myself or the situation that I'm in. But I suppose that I've always had a few important constants in my life that allows stability through the never-ending change. And maybe that's the real trick, finding the things that make you feel really rooted to who you are. But I also think that finding rootedness is a very, very personal thing.
Yeah. I just finished dinner. It is so cold here. It's so cold, Akiva. I bet you love it. We left 90-degree weather, and now there's grass in all of this scrub oak, and I see snow-capped mountains right there. It's probably one of my favorite parts about this lifestyle is how quickly you can shift environments, and how every place is it's its own beautiful. I love it. It's gonna be a chilly night.
Sometimes when I share a bit more deeply about how I'm moving through this life, it's a reminder that I am a highly sensitive person. And in the past, I have tried not to be. I've tried to form a very hard exterior or to pretend that I couldn't be fazed. But now, as I get older, I see that sensitivity as a superpower. Because truly it can go both ways, meaning that the smallest things in life can bring me immense joy.
So different than the desert. Oh, it feels so good, Akila. Oh. I only have a few more hours of driving later today and then I'll be back at the property. This has been such a build-up. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a very odd feeling. I've been looking forward to the weather being nice enough to be there and work on projects. Feels like a really big deal. I think because when I bought it and drilled the well, I felt really rushed and I wasn't in a super grounded place in my life. So now going back, feeling so grounded, so excited, also so dedicated to really enjoying the whole process of like being there and building things and creating a beautiful space of my own. It's just, everything feels really different right now. Yeah. But this is just too deep of a conversation to have before coffee.
So what exactly is to come? Since I now have property and am headed to the area, will Akila and I be done with van life?
I am about to turn onto the dirt road that leads to my property. It's just the strangest feeling to know that I have a place to go back to. I don't know, it's just a really beautiful feeling. Because for the past 4 years, I've just been roaming, and I love that as well. That is also a really beautiful feeling. And now I get to experience this, where it's a place that I can come back to. It's so fun. And I'm so happy to be back.
The answer is a very strong no. This property was purchased as raw land. There is nothing here. There is no house in the city that we are living in behind the scenes. There is no tiny home up on the hill that's out of frame. It is just this land, a recent well, a random shipping container, my van, and soon to be Chris's bus as well. Also, life for us will continue to be completely off-grid. And this means that there is a lot of work ahead. And quite honestly, I am most excited about everything except for building a house. I want to plant trees and make birdhouses. I want to build a temporary art studio and transform my shipping container. I want to learn how I can improve the existing land for all of the things that currently live here. And this van is our home, and it will continue to be for years to come. We are just too content to rush out of a space that we love just for the sake of doing so. So while it feels like there is so much changing, the reality is that there is hardly anything changing at all. It's really just the potential of all that I get to do now, and the projects that I get to work on and the things that I get to build, which is something that I have really been looking forward to. And I couldn't be more excited for this chapter to start. Thanks for being here, everyone. We will see you next week.
when we wake. Hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just